What is up, ladies and gents, Ghost here, and welcome back to some Starcraft 2. This has been a long time since I last did some Starcraft 2 content. Now, for those of you who may not know, when I started out my channel here on YouTube, I first began doing Battlefield 3 content on Starcraft 2, and I was doing tips for the game. And I used to be in a pretty high league. I think it was around Diamond when I first started playing Starcraft 2, and slowly as time went on, I kind of ended up dropping down, and as you can see, I'm here in Silver League in this particular season. I don't know why I always end up starting a league, getting into Silver or maybe Gold, and then I won't play anymore because I'm so busy with the YouTube videos for Battlefield, playing Battlefield itself, and I just usually end up dropping out, you know, at the end of the season with a finish in Silver or Gold. But now I've decided I'm going to try my best to get back into the game because this has been one of my favourite games, and I even used to do tips videos on this game. I used to have a series called Starcraft 2 Tips. I also used to have a series called Low Leaguer Tips, where I would review other people's games that they played, other people's replays, and I would then sort of give them some tips on their gameplay, what they could do to macro better, to micro better, and generally how they could win. Now, since I haven't really been playing the game much and I'm no longer in a high league, I just don't really feel that I'm able to offer tips to any other players out there. I mean, I myself have, you know, pretty much all but stopped playing the game for the most part. I used to play a lot. I don't play much anymore, so I didn't really feel that I was able to give them some tips. But I am going to be bringing StarCraft 2 back in the way of simply laddering, and who knows, maybe I will get good enough again to get up to the top ranks. So this series is entitled Ladder Anxiety, and that is for a reason. StarCraft 2 just is that kind of game where you feel kind of afraid sometimes to click that rank play button, and I know a lot of players who play StarCraft 2 just play the arcade or they just play unranked mode because they're just kind of afraid of coming up to the challenge, and I try and force myself. You know, sometimes I kind of feel like that as well, especially when I'm in one of the higher leagues and I know it's going to be a challenge, and you know, playing StarCraft 2 for a long amount of time especially can be stressful, like physically and mentally, to be honest with you. It can hurt your hands after you've been playing a game and you get really tense sometimes, but I got to tell you guys that the more you play and the more I play, the easier it gets, the less stressful it becomes, the more fun it becomes, really. And at the end of the day, you just got to remember that, you know, it is a game, it's just about fun, and yeah, just to take it easy. Now, if you're not somebody who plays StarCraft 2, I really suggest that you actually go and download the Starter Edition. You can get Wings of Liberty online, and you can play that. You can't do the campaign, but you can play it on multiplayer mode, and I really suggest checking out the game if you never have. Maybe you're somebody who played Brood War back in the day, or, you know, just StarCraft 1, the basic game, and you've never checked out StarCraft 2, now is never a better time. You can actually get access to the arcade mode and the regular online play of Wings of Liberty and see how you like the game. I do believe, however, if you get the Starter Edition, you can only play Terran, which is the race that I'm playing right now. Now, at the moment in the background, I'm pretty much just scouting him out. My strategy here really was to go for a Reaper opening. I'm going to get that Reaper out so I can get a nice scout off on him. I can see what he's doing, and if I'm lucky, depending on how many Marines he has out, I can manage to maybe pick off an SCV or two. But really, the main objective here is just to scout him out, try and maybe pick off an SCV, but really just scouting. So keeping that Reaper alive is pretty much top priority. Now, after that, really, I'm thinking I'm going to be going into a fast expansion here. Now, I obviously have no idea what he's going to do, so I'm opening up with a second Rax that I will be getting a tech lab on, going for fast impact. Really, the idea is to get 2 barracks up and try and get some Marine out to sort of support my expansion. Now, you can see he's decided to go for a Reaper opening himself here. It's a pretty common opening as a Terran player. Like I said before, it gives you great scouting potential, and you can also pick off a worker. It's definitely a good idea, by the way, against newer players to try and pick off a worker who is actually constructing a building in the enemy base. Now, you can see I'm trying to pick off some of his workers here. I should maybe be doing a little bit more scouting, to be honest with you, and less running around, because if I'm not careful here, he was coming with another Reaper. I was going to say, if I'm not careful, I can get surrounded by those SCVs, but he's actually gone ahead here and fended me off with a Reaper and a Marine, so I'm just going to rally my Reaper around those minerals and try and get away there. He doesn't seem to have given chase, so things seem to have come out in my favour. Now, something you may not know about Reapers. Oh, and there you can see me just trying to pick off one of the workers building a building. A lot of newer players, they will forget to put an SCV back on their building, so I was hoping that he's got to forget to put an SCV back on that command center, and that will give me a slight advantage. But yeah, what I was going to say is, one thing that you may not know about Reapers is that if you leave them out of combat, they will actually start to regenerate their health pretty quickly. So even if you go in there and you take a little bit of damage, it's pretty beneficial to just get out, regenerate your health, and save your Reaper for another scout later on in the game. Now, I got a little bit supply block there, so that's definitely slowed down my build. And here I believe I'm throwing down a factory. I think, yes, I'm throwing down a factory, so I'm going to be getting siege tanks out here, I'm pretty sure. You have to remember, I don't exactly remember this game that well. I will tell you guys that the reason I'm commentating on this game afterwards is because I'm a little bit rusty in Starcraft 2. I used to commentate on the games live, so I would do ladder anxiety, I would play a game, and I would be commentating, letting you guys know what I was doing, what I was thinking as I was playing the game. But you have to concentrate so much on this game. It's just, it takes so much brain power to think about what you're doing that it takes a lot of skill and a lot of practice to actually be able to commentate live. So at least until I get back in the zone and I get my mechanics down and fine-tuned, which they are not at the moment. As you can see there, I actually have one guy in my left gas, and I think I only have 2 guys in the right gas. That is definitely not intended. No, I have 3 guys in the right gas, but the left gas there is definitely not intended. I am slacking off. That is not good, but things seem to be going okay. We're only up against a silver level player here. Now, I hope I can actually remember how this game goes. To be honest, even though I just played it, I really can't. After this game, I went and live streamed around maybe 7 or 8 games, and I won all of them. So I don't actually remember how this game goes or exactly what he attacked me with or anything like that. So I'm kind of commentating blind on the gameplay here and what I'm really thinking. But I think I know myself pretty well. And I'm going here for 3 more barracks, you can see. This is a pretty critical timing. It's just that time where you need to invest a lot of minerals in upping your infrastructure, getting more production buildings so that you can start constructing more units. Because when you take that first expansion, there comes a time where you're going to have to spend some of those minerals that you have sitting in the bank on some more production facilities. Now, in my opinion, having around 5 production facilities, whether they be barracks, factories or starports, is a good number to have when you only have 1 expansion. So you're on 2 base, around 5 production facilities. You can see I actually have 5 barracks, and I've gotten a factory and I'm getting out a starport as well. So that actually makes 7 all in all. However, the reason I've gotten so many is because I'm only going to be really building marines for the most part from those barracks. So nothing gas heavy. I'm going to be getting siege tanks out from my factory, which are great against enemy Terran bio, and I'm going to be getting some dropships out from the starport. You may wonder why dropships. A lot of Terran players will go for Vikings. Marine tank Viking is, I suppose, the standard metagame. At least it was in Wings of Liberty. To be honest, I'm not so sure in Heart of the Swarm anymore. I haven't been keeping up with the pro scene quite enough, but it seems to be what most Terran players decide to go for against me. And I kind of prefer the dropships, you know. It allows me to be able to drop in his base, cliffing up next to his cliff, and then sort of moving your Marines up his ramp and up his cliff with your dropship is a really good tactic. And obviously, if you only have Vikings out, you can't actually do that. You know what, guys? I'm feeling like I really need a co-commentator here. It's really nice to have somebody else to commentate on the game, so you can actually like regain your thoughts and regain your momentum for the cast. But I don't have that, so I'm just gonna have to do a la Husky Starcraft and blabber away the entire game. But I hope you guys are enjoying it either way. I mean, I know a lot of you guys will be like, what are you doing, Ghost? Starcraft 2? This is a Battlefield 4 channel. Well, you know, it is a Battlefield 4 channel, but I've always been partial to other games. I've always enjoyed games, as you will know, that have a huge learning curve. And Starcraft 2 is probably the best example of that I have ever played. The learning curve in this game is absolutely huge. I mean, you can be a pro playing this game. You can't really be a pro and earn a living playing Battlefield 4, unfortunately, despite the fact that that's what DICE were aiming for. But even so, the learning curve in Battlefield 4 is also pretty good. Right, I'm actually moving out here. So I've sort of scanned him up. I think there's not any sort of Banshee play incoming. I don't think he's going to drop me or anything like that. I haven't really seen any signs of dropships for him. So this is a bit of a blind move by me. I don't exactly know what he has, but I'm confident in myself that I'm out macroing him here. I think I probably should be throwing down a command center at some point. Yeah, there. Well, that's pretty funny. There I go, throwing down a command center, going for my third. You really want to aim to be getting a third command center around the 10-11 minute mark, especially if you haven't sustained any damages and you haven't really lost any units like I haven't. So that's a bit of a late command center by me. And the thing is that a lot of new players, the big mistake they will make is they will just not get a third command center. They'll get 2 base, they'll stay on that for too long, and they just get out macroed. And that's pretty much the reason I'm going to win probably this game. I'm not actually sure, as I say before, but I think I'll probably go on to win this one here. Now, I was trying to cliff him there. Unfortunately, he was ready. He had his entire army up there. I expected his army to be at his natural. So now I'm going to switch positions here, take out a tank there with a quick snipe, and now I'm going to siege up in his natural here. Just try and take out as many SCVs as I can. He's moving them away here, or most of them. He kind of lost a bit too many. If he would have been quick on the pull, he could have pulled them all up into the main of his base, and he wouldn't really have had to lose as many as he did. And he has a tank up now on the high ground, so I'm not going to overcommit. This is a big thing you have to remember. Don't overcommit to any situation. I've got a good advantage now. I've taken out his expansion. I have an expansion, and I have a third command center on the way. So I'm just going to keep annoying him here any way that I can. Even though I don't have Vikings, I can still use that dropship to see the high ground, and it is a little bit annoying here because that Viking is pestering my dropship and I really don't want to lose that, but I'm trying to poke up here with the dropship and give my siege tank some vision on the high ground there to take out that barracks that he has waiting there. So I'm just trying to do any little that I can to get him here, but I'm not overcommitting there. He really wanted to kill that dropship, and this is a big blunder by me. I knew I had Vikings up there. I loaded the dropship up, and that was me overcommitting there. I got infantry into my dropship. I was planning to land it up on the cliff there and take him out, but, you know, end the game early, but it just didn't work out. I knew I had a Viking up there, and putting a dropship full of Marines and Marauders up there was pretty much a death trap. So, getting my third command center there, warped into an orbital command, I'm really realizing that I'm not going to be able to win this game quite as easily as I thought I was. And I'm thinking to myself now, right, don't overcommit. So I'm going to go and try and pester the natural, having left it alone. This is probably what I do best as Terran. I'm maybe not the best macroer, but I'm pretty decent at micro, and I'm pretty good at multi-pronged attacks. Usually I try and just hit him wherever he's not concentrating. So right now, he's concentrating up at his cliff. He's taking damage from my siege tanks, and you can see he's got his siege tanks up there. He's got his Vikings up there, and now he's got a lot of siege tanks at the front. But he's not really paying attention to this drop, and I'm able here to run into his mineral line, and I'm probably going to get quite a few SCV kills there, and yep, quite a few right off the bat. If I was actually playing this as a replay, I will be able to tell you guys exactly how many I got, but I thought I would do it as a first-person replay, so you can see at all times in the game where I'm looking and exactly what I'm doing. And at this point, I know I have a very good lead, and to be honest, I don't really want to just run straight in there. I don't have that many units left. I've taken out all the SCVs at his main and his natural, and at one point I made his command center at the natural completely take off and halt mining altogether. So that gave me a huge macro advantage. I've been trying to get my third up. You can see I'm just floating my command center there on the minimap over to the third position, which is pretty late. I'm just not that good enough at multitasking yet that I could have done that whilst engaging in all those battles down below in the south there at the enemy base. But I've got a huge macro advantage right now, so I'm just going to hang back. I'm going to get my third base up. I'm going to get some more infrastructure, get some more production facilities, get those gases up there, and I'm just going to power up. And really his only option here is to go for a counter-attack, and I know that. That's why I'm hanging back. If I would have marched into his base, there is a chance that I could have lost all my units to his siege tanks, and then he could simply march across the map, take out my third, and kill a lot of SCVs at my natural, and maybe even out the game. So I don't want to do that. I know that I have much more production than he has, and I have much more mining than he has going on. So here he comes with the counter-attack. I knew this was coming. It's really his only option at this point. He knows that he's not going to be able to out-macro me. So now I'm just going to hang back a little bit more. As you can see, I only have one tank. I have quite a lot of bio, and those tanks that he has are absolutely going to rip through mine. So I don't want to engage here. I want to stay back as long as I possibly can and just wait for my upgrades, for my infantry, for my bio, wait for more marines, wait for more marauders, more tanks, etc. And I'm going to keep my tanks sieged up there just to put the pressure on him, because at the end of the day, I want something that is going to stop him being able to just press right into my base. If I don't have those tanks siege, he's just going to march up there with everything. And yeah, so I'm just holding back now, waiting for that, I presume. A little bit slack in there on the supply depots. That's definitely something that I need to work on. I haven't yet got promoted to Gold League, so far these Silver League players aren't really punishing me, but as you start to get up the leagues, you get into Gold, Platinum. If you get supply blocked, you'll end up getting supply blocked more than your enemy. It can actually end up costing you the game. Now, since he's sieged up outside my third there, I'm just letting him attack that command center, or that orbital command rather. I'm just going to repair it with one of my SCVs, and you can see I had that dropship down in the south. I'm trying to do a little bit of harassment with that, trying to find somewhere to land in his main base to draw his attention away from that, so that I can storm in with my main army into his army when he's not looking. And unfortunately, it has a lot of turrets up there in the south, so I can't do that, but it looks like I'm going for it here. I think, yeah, I pretty much just had enough of him at this point. I just stimmed up and went straight in there, keeping on macroing there, keeping building units. And at this point, I guess it feels like I pretty much won the game. I destroyed his entire army there, and he's really not going to have a whole lot left at that point.
Now what?
So, still got that dropship down there. Wasn't really able to make anything happen in the main base. He's really got turreted up around the base, which is a good plan. And unfortunately, I run straight into his Vikings and lose a full dropship of bio. But I don't really think it's going to matter for this guy. I think he's pretty much going to go down. But yeah, it looks like this game is going to be coming to an end, guys. I think I'll be winning this one pretty soon. I really hope I win this one at least. If it turns out to be a loss, it's going to be pretty embarrassing. But yeah, he's okay, yeah, GG. He lands his Viking there for a last little all-ditch effort and loses the game. But let me know, guys, if you guys want to see some more StarCraft 2. I know a lot of you may not be into the game. Some of you may. Then let me know down below. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this cast. It's been a long time since I did one, and I probably blabbered on about a load of crap. But in any case, I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, maybe you can leave me a like to let me know. And hopefully I'll see you guys soon for some more videos. Cheers.